What's up, y'all? Excuse me, it's not a great opening. That one won't catch the algorithm. Welcome to episode 7 of Contemplations with Austin West. I just got finished up with my cohort, Microdosing in the Mind, Body, Soul. We have calls every Sunday for 8 weeks. And it went 4 hours and 12 minutes. So I've been doing a lot of talking and a lot of teaching today, a lot of holding space. And now I'm jumping to this. And one of the things about devotion, right, this 40-day devotional, one of these things about dedicating to ourselves, about when we tell ourselves, when we make a promise to ourselves, an agreement with ourselves that we're going to do something, we are always going to be challenged inside of that, because that's the point. It doesn't feel good if we don't overcome challenge. I will speak for myself, not for everybody else. I notice for myself it feels better when I overcome challenge. I need to stop with the wheeze. Yeah, I'm feeling tired. I feel like I've been talking a lot. I feel like my mind's a little blank, but maybe this is the best time for me to do a podcast. I don't know. This episode is brought to you by Entheos Holistic. Shout out to Entheos, this beautiful entity that has been birthed through me over the last 8 years, microdosing, the power and potency of how this practice can change your life. This cohort that is only available because of the entity of Entheos. All of these beautiful souls going through this journey and process with me. And shout out to the Coliseum, the men's community. If you're a brother out there looking for just homies, honestly, like it ain't that serious. Men's work is dope when it ain't that serious. Bringing the bros back together. We got calls 3 weeks a month. Men's retreats every quarter. Group text. Place to show up, support each other. It's free. It's free. Day, I hit a random. And it was supposed to be for yesterday, but I did my alien talk. If you haven't watched that episode, I was contacted by praying mantis beings in December this year. I went deep into that one. Today's episode is submitted by Lori. Shout out, Lori. She is one of our OG Entheos members. Been around a long time. Very, very important part of the community. She shows up for us and for the community. Her contemplation submission is, what does it truly mean to serve? And why some of us have this calling. Very aligned with what the teaching was today in the cohort, which was about the heart, the soul. I believe that the heart is the soul is found through the heart. And so in the mind, body, soul framework, the mind is awareness, the body is emotions, the soul is the heart. The heart is the present moment. It is where meaning, where purpose, where authenticity lives. And through that, there's a higher and a lower expression of the heart. And the low expression, or the disconnected heart, is what I call the seeking heart. And it's a heart that lives in service to self. All decisions, the way you live your life, is out of selfishness. And there's nothing wrong with this. It's just a path that we can take in life. We can walk the path of being selfish. Just own that. It's okay. And the serving heart, so you have the seeking heart and the serving heart. The serving heart is the higher expression of the heart. And the higher expression of the heart is the heart that lives in service to everything, because everything is God. And so when we live in service, we're in service to God. And the beauty of that is it allows God to move through us. Yeah, there's I'm going to go back and read that. What does it mean to truly serve? Why some of us have this calling? So I'll start with the last question in mind. What does it mean why does some people have this calling? I believe that everybody has this calling. Just not everybody is listening to the calling. I believe the entire purpose of this existence in life is to be of service. I believe that's the whole point of all of this, of consciousness, of creation, of the human experience. I believe to be of service is to be in our purpose. It is to be authentic. It is to find meaning in life. It is to live a life that fills you up, fills your cup, fills your heart, whatever way describing that aligns most with you. But I believe the entire purpose that we exist is to be of service to one another, or to be of service to something greater than yourself. I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to. We're here to exist, to be in service to something greater than the self. And for some people, that is their family. For some people, that is a mission. For some people, that is God. I mean, all of it is the all, right? The all is mind. The universe is mental. It's all under one thing. We connect through it, through this mind. The Tao, call it the all, the unknowable, the Gnostics. You know, I am not religious. I'm deeply spiritual, because spirituality is the practice of connecting to the divine, which means you get to do it in a way that helps you connect to the divine most. I'm not religious because I don't believe in a singular doctrine as the way of being. I don't believe in doctrines that instill fear. If anything has fear in it, it is not a teaching for me. I am not a God-fearing individual. I don't believe that God wants fear. I believe God is love. So anything that even has a semblance or a whisper or a taste or a smell of fear inside of it is not of God. So to serve something greater than the self, like if you can name that, then you're in service. If you can't, you're probably in service to self. And this is why it's so important for men. Like, one of the greatest things we want in this life is purpose. We want to have purpose. And for a lot of men, the reason they're doing soul-sucking work is because they have no purpose in it. There's no meaning. I lived this myself, 12 years in finance, perpetuating the debt slave matrix for some of the biggest devils there are, JP Morgan, BlackRock. I did it for the paycheck. I lied to myself. I like helping people. You like helping people be put into debt that they don't definitely should not be in? Yeah, that's a whole long-winded convo for another day. But that's why we're here, Lori. We're here to be of service. Everybody has that calling, in my belief. Maybe you don't. I'm open for that. We call those NPCs. Non-player characters. It's a video game reference. Be of service. And I think that the service that we're here to be in comes from the heart. It is our truth. You know, I talk about this thing in the cohort where it's like we have the soul, which has your blueprint, the path you're meant to walk in this life, and you have the avatar, which is how you reflect and show up in the world. And the distance between the soul and the avatar are the distortions that we live in. It's the way I pretend to be who I am. I show up in expectation of other people. I lie to myself. And the reason why authenticity is so magnetic, it is when the soul is expressing through the avatar in its most purest form. And authenticity is magnetism. I talk about these things. Everything is frequency, right? I believe magnetism is a frequency. And so truth is the frequency of alignment. Authenticity is the frequency of magnetism. So when you touch when you touch the whispers of a heart, the truth, you find your purpose, you find meaning in life. And oftentimes that comes with being of service, because when we are authentic, we are automatically of service to the world. When you are authentic, you are automatically of service to the world. Because authenticity gives permission to other people to be authentic. And authenticity is the highest frequency we can measure, because there's nothing else like it in the whole universe. Nothing else like you in your purest and your truest form. And I think that's why service feels so good. I didn't feel the way I did right now working in finance, making a fuck ton of money. And every few months, I go through a period where I am stretched financially, and I wouldn't change it for anything because it feels way too good to be of service. And I still get to eat the best quality food in the world. I live in a beautiful home. I get to travel. Like, I still get to do all the things. And so it's disconnecting this requirement of everything outside of me to look a way that society tells me it should look in order for me to be fulfilled, when at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how I feel about myself when I'm by myself. And when I'm by myself, I feel great. I tell myself I love you, I'm proud of you all the time. It was hard for me to speak those words a while ago. And I feel that way because I'm living my life in service. The first thing I ask myself in most all decisions I make in my life, I'm not going to act like I'm perfect in this. I make selfish decisions too. We all do, consciously or unconsciously, and that's not bad either. The Law of One, there's this teaching, one of the most powerful spiritual texts, the probably most powerful spiritual text I've ever read. It talks about how it's just as difficult to be in service to other 51% or more of the time as it is to be in service to self 95% of the time. How wild is that? Which basically just means most of us are selfish because it's easier. Unknowingly. It's not that we want to be. For many of us, we were taught for look at the world. In a lot of ways, that's how corporations are. So corporations are selfish by nature. The stock market is selfish by nature. Countries are selfish by nature because of the foundation, the corrupted, deceitful foundation they were built off. So they're not in service to anything but themselves. And then us individuals that serve inside of those entities, beings, egregores, can't help but be selfish because the foundation of the thing we serve is selfish. I think this is why they call entrepreneurship such a spiritual path. Because if you don't serve inside of that, if you don't serve other people inside of that, you fail. And so it teaches you how to be in service to others. Yeah, let me go read this one more time. What does it truly mean to serve and why some of us have this calling? Yeah, I think all of us have this calling. And what it means to serve is just live by your heart. The path has already been laid. We complicate it so much. I complicated it so much. Here's the path. I've never talked about this. I'm just going to let this flow. What wants to come through it? What is the path? If you don't know what your purpose or service is, I would start by understanding who the fuck you are. Gene keys, human design, astrology. Dive into these systems, the Akashic record. And if you don't believe in that shit, I'd be surprised you're listening to this podcast in the first place. But the gene keys and human design have changed my entire perspective, perception, and relationship to self. I know myself deeper through these modalities of understanding. And in the process of knowing myself deeper, I see how that's reflected out into my life, which then helps me align to, it's like, how do I put this into words? It's like when I understand myself deeper through these modalities, and then I project that out in my life and I notice what's there, it highlights, there we go. It opens up pathways that become more clear. Like they were already available, but I wasn't fully leaning into the thing or the person or the idea or the conversation. And the more I understand about myself on the back end, what is my design in this life, the more clear and obvious the pathways become. Yeah, that feels true. Sometimes I say things, and after I say it, I'm like, does that feel, I guess this is what trusting what wants to come through is. I'm learning with y'all. I'm learning when I speak too. And I love Bashar's perspective on all of this, on astrology, human design, gene keys, all of it. None of it defines you, and all of it is a permission slip to understand the self better. So use these modalities as a permission slip to figure out, who are you? What are you meant to do in this life? Let me give you an example. On my gene keys, my life's work is the 54th gene key, the shadow of greed, the gift of aspiration, the siddhi of ascension. I've literally built everything that I do, my men's work, entheos, from the perspective of integrating my shadow of greed in this life. It helps me make decisions that I previously would have confronted. So from the shadow of greed, if I integrate that shadow and I don't make decisions from the perspective of needing anything material in order for me to serve, I get to just take that off the plate. And the heaviness of those decisions no longer exists, because I know that the gift of aspiration comes by me giving away that shadow. Another one, my purpose gene key, the bottom of the activation sequence, it's the very bottom of your gene keys chart, is the 51st, 51st, which is the shadow. Actually, don't know the shadow off the top of my head. Why can't I think of this? I'm brain dead right now, guys. Thank you. But the siddhi of it is awakening. I'm meant to awaken people as my purpose in this life. And inside of that, when I connect the gene keys to the human design system, the 51st is the gate of shock. And so the way I lead people into awakening is by being so authentic and radical in my truth that the things I say through my raw authenticity, people have these moments where it opens up something within themselves where they're like, oh my God, I cannot unsee that. Right? There's other teachers where it's like, it's gradual, it's over time, but my style, because it's the emanation of me and my spirit, when I say certain things, it leads to these like profound awakening moments in people. I get that reflected to me all the time. If I didn't know that about myself, if I didn't realize that the more honest and truthful and raw I am, the more I lean into my gift of awakening, the spirit or the gate of shock, I would deny that part of myself and realize that in me trying to be of service, I'm only limited in my service because I'm not showing up in the way that I'm meant to be of service. I hope that made sense. And I could just go on and on. So these systems help us find what that service are. So if you're lost and you don't know where to start, Ikigai is another one. Bashar's got a 5-step formula. Who's that monk that has a podcast now? I can't think of his name. He's got this process of like finding a purpose, but we're here to be of service to each other. And it's so beautiful when we are, because it fills us so full. And I'm at the place in my life right now where when it's hard, when I don't feel like waking up, when I don't feel like being committed and devoted and dedicated to something, when I'm not in my discipline, I always anchor back into, it's bigger than me. This is bigger than me. This doesn't have to do with me anymore. I don't do anything I won't say that because that would be a little fabricated. I try not to do most things in my life for the self. I do it to be of service. It's not always easy. Being in service is not always easy. I think that's why it's so rewarding. Yeah, I think that's why it's so rewarding. Thank you for the question, Lori. I hope this one still landed, y'all. I'm so committed these 40 days. I'm gonna show up and do these things. Morning or night. I'm gonna get it out. Appreciate everybody watching. And I'm curious to see what I'll talk about for week 8. Day 8, week 8. I'll worry about day 8 before I get to week 8. And that's a wrap. We're here to be of service. Love y'all. Have a blessed day.